If I knew you were coming, I would bake a cake, bake a cake, bake a cake. If I knew you were coming, I would bake a cake. I forget the rest of the song. Yeah! Welcome back to Cooking with Daniel. Today, we're gonna be making a cake. A nice vanilla cake with chocolate frosting. For our first step, we're gonna add 3/4 cup of sugar. It looks all glistening. I don't know, like glistening. Looks like powdered crystals. Let's add this to our bowl. Want to make sure none goes to waste. For our next step, we're gonna add this buttermilk. You can use any milk you want. I just added a little bit of lemon to this to create buttermilk. And you just let it sit for about 15 minutes. So it's just a mixture of that I made earlier in the day. So we're just gonna add this in. We need to whisk this stuff up. Get out of my way. Whisk it with a whisking thing. We're adding this vanilla extract and almond extract mix. We have 1 teaspoon of vanilla and 1 teaspoon of almond. So let's add this in. It's turning the whole mixture like darker. Let's make sure that we get all of this stuff in here because we want our extra flavor. Next step is we want to add 1/3 cup of oil. This is our oil here. Don't want this to spill. We're gonna mix this thing up. By the way, I don't think I mentioned this. This is vegan, so there's no eggs or anything in here. Well, it's pretty much vegan. Earlier we used almond milk. It's not because I'm vegan, because you saw me eat a burger in one of my videos, but it's just because it's an easier recipe for me. You don't have to like crack the eggs and then put them in and then, whew. Next step, we're adding this mixture in of 1 1/2 cup of flour, well, cups of flour, 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda, and 2 teaspoons of baking powder, and also a little dash of salt. So that's this mixture. Pour it in into our wet ingredients. This is our cake mixture right here. Well, it's our batter. So now we need to whisk this thing up. And don't want it to spin. And you want to mix this well and not over mix. You just want to incorporate all the ingredients and mix them all in. And you can have a little bit of lumps, that's okay. Now I'm gonna get an 8x8 square pan. It's all buttered and it has parchment paper on it. So let's pour this in. Let's get my trusty no tricks, all treat spatula. Ooh, it's nice and frothy. Scrape all the goodness in there so that way we really get all of it. This is very satisfying to do. Okay, so now we're gonna plop this into an oven that's preheated to 325 degrees, and we're gonna cook it for 20 minutes. Now, depending on what type of oven you have, the baking time may vary, so just make sure that you always stick in, you test the center of this with a toothpick, and just to make sure that it's all ready. So now let's pop this into the oven. Okay, we're using our little oven. Let's just pop this into our small oven, because this is a pretty small cake. There we go. Now let's close it up. In the meantime, we're gonna clean up and get our chocolate buttercream frosting ready. This whole place should be cleaned up in 3, 2, 1. Abracadabra! Everything just appeared on this counter. Now we have all our ingredients we need to make our yummy frosting. In here already, we have 2 sticks of butter and 5 cups of powdered sugar. I'm going to put this down. So let's just go this, and let's guide it down into our mixing bowl. Now let's lock it in position, and let's do it very slow, and let's stir it at a 1. What happened? Okay, after a slight spill, everything's working. So now let's just let that go a little bit. We're gonna add a little dash of salt first. Okay, now we're gonna add a little bit of salt. I think that's good. A little dash. Now we're gonna add a little dash of vanilla. I think that's good. Maybe a little bit more. Yeah, that's good. Maybe a little bit more. Why not? I think that's good. Now let's turn it up to a 2. A little bit faster now. I can see it getting all creamy. Let's turn it up to a 3. Now let's turn it up to a 4. That's good. Okay, now I want to turn it off. So let's turn this off. Now we're going to scrape down these sides. Scrape them all down. Now we're gonna add a cocoa powder to make it all chocolate. This is a 1/4 cup, so I would say about 2 of these to make a 1/2 cup. Not about, but you need 2 of these. So we'll just really scoop this. That's good. Let's pour 1 in. Do 1/4 cup at a time. So I just poured in 1/4 cup, and I'm gonna stir it at a 1 speed. Okay, I think it's good. Let's turn it off. Let's add our second 1/4 cup. I think I added a little bit too much cocoa powder. It'll be fine. Stir this. It's getting nice dark brown colored. We're gonna turn this up to a 2. Turn it up to a 3. I think it's pretty mixed now, but I noticed that it's still white around the edges, so I'm gonna scrape it down and then we'll continue mixing. Now we're gonna slowly, gradually add in a 1/2 cup of milk. So let's add a little bit in first. It's good. Now just wait for it a little bit. Let's add in our next part. Now we have a little bit in for the third one. It depends on how you like your frosting, but if your frosting is too thin, you can always add more cocoa powder or more powdered sugar if you're just making vanilla frosting. Or if it's too thick, you can always just add more milk. Let's add in our last batch of milk. Okay, our cake just came out of the oven and we let it cool down for about an hour or so. Now we're gonna frost it because, well, this is not just a 1-level cake. No. It's a 4-layer cake. So I'm gonna be cutting this up into 4ths and I'm gonna be stacking them on top of each other and frosting them. So let's start cutting. I would say that's about center. And there we go. We have 4 pieces. I just put 1/4 on it on top. So now we're gonna frost the layer in between this. Let's get a nice glob. I don't know how to frost a cake. It'll be fine. It's not the best cake ever, but it'll have to work. It'll still taste good, which is all we want it to do. Let's get a nice big glob. Cherry on top. I don't know how to frost a cake. It's not the best looking cake, but I frosted it as well as I could. But now we're gonna add some yummy sprinkles to the cake. So let's sprinkle it up. I think that's enough sprinkles. So you can make this cake for anybody in your family. You can make it for your parents, or you can also make it for your dog, your pet. You can make it for any occasion. The occasion I'm celebrating this for, the reason I made this cake, is for my grandma and grandpa. It's my grandma and grandpa's anniversary on October 10th, and it's their 40th anniversary. So I'm gonna celebrate it very special. That's why we made 4 layers for 40, and that's why right here, I have 4 candles. Now let's plop these in, each on a corner of the cake, so one right here. There's a lot of frosting on top of this cake. 1, 2 right here. Now, let's light these. Now I'm gonna sing a little song. Happy anniversary to you. Happy anniversary to you. Happy anniversary, dear Grandma and Grandpa. Happy anniversary to you. Let me blow up the candles. I love you, Grandma and Grandpa. I wish you another 40 years of happiness. Now, in honor of my Grandma and Grandpa, I'm gonna try this cake. I don't know if I should be scared. There's a lot of frosting on that. It is very, very chocolatey. There's more frosting than cake in here. I do not recommend putting this much frosting on the cake. Still really good though. You want a bite? More for me. This is a good cake. Oh, frosting. I have the strangest feeling something was just in front of the camera. Very sugary. Thank you guys for watching this amazing video for my grandparents' 40th anniversary. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you followed along. And if you did follow along, I hope you did not put as much frosting as on here right now. Yeah, this is why you don't let a 10-year-old make a cake. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.